Hi, I'm Jeff with Stretch, and today we're going to show you how to use a hypervolt with a partner. So what we're going to do is start Vanessa face down. It's going to be an easy way to get through, obviously, a lot of these posterior muscles, anywhere from the neck, throughout the back, hips, glutes, hamstrings, calves, and feet. We have a bolster here underneath the hips that helps keep pressure off the low back. If you are laying face down for too long, you can get some lumbar pain. So we're going to use a bolster here. You can just throw a pillow underneath the hips or anything like that just to alleviate some of that curvature that you'll get in the low back if you're laying in this position. So we're going to start with the hypervolt. I like this flat head. It's a fairly versatile head, and the surface of it makes it easy to run over clothing. So what we'll do here is we could start with the head and neck. When you're working with the hypervolt, you could use one hand to palpate and find where the bone is. That way you don't run into it with the head of the device. And then what you're going to do is just obviously travel along the muscle. So when you're doing this, you can go with the muscle fibers, or you can go cross friction, so kind of working perpendicular with the muscle fibers, going against them. Or we could do some light circles. And so as we work down the back, I'm just going to stay aware of where the spine is at, and we can travel along it and go right up to it without touching it. Okay, you never need to apply too much pressure here. This is really meant to just kind of rest on the surface of the muscle. You could apply slight pressure. If you do want to increase that intensity, then just hit the next level here on the back of the gun. Okay, while you're doing this, you could watch to see if the muscle's reacting, and if it's kind of twitching, that's a good way of knowing that that's really a kind of tense area, a bit of a knot. So maybe slow down and really sit there. You can move very slowly and just work with it to kind of alleviate that tension. Okay. So we're going to work throughout the back, behind the shoulder, shoulder blade, lat area through here, top of the neck and the shoulder. And as we travel down, we're going to work into the top of the hip. So we could find the base of the spine and the sacrum, work along the glute. This vibration or percussion is a really kind of more rapid way of unwinding and releasing the tension in the muscle. It helps trigger a neuromuscular reaction called the Golgi tendon response, which essentially makes the muscle relax. Okay, so getting through the glute, we can travel down into the hamstring. And so when you're working in a larger muscle group, it's definitely important to make sure you're getting that entire muscle. You want to get the origin down to the attachment and everything in between. Don't just focus on the belly of the muscle. So here we're going to start up at the top of the hamstring and work our way down to the back of the knee. Okay. And then with something like this, again, to get the entire thing, you want to make sure that you're getting, side to side, up and down. So the hamstring has different sections. So more lateral, more medial on the inside, and then of course right in the center. And then like I said earlier, you can travel with the muscle like I am right now, or doing some sort of cross friction. It'll get the muscle a little bit differently. And the most comprehensive you can be is the best way to really alleviate that muscle most effectively. All right, traveling down beneath the knee now into the calf. Common area to be very tense and tight. Be a contributor to knee pain, foot pain, ankle pain. And then one of my personal favorites is the foot itself. So you could travel through the arch of the foot, anywhere from the heel to the tips of the toes. Big neglected area here. This is going to get blood flow down to that area, which it's often lacking. It's often very tense and tight, and you don't even realize it. Okay. And then we can simply flip face up just to get some of those anterior muscle groups, so the muscle groups in the front of the body. And so a good place to start here is in the chest. Just be aware of where the collarbone is. So you can work through the chest, top of the shoulder. Running through the arm feels really nice, so along the bicep. So starting with the chest, down the bicep, into the forearm. Just as we got the foot, you can get the hand, which often feels very nice, along the fingers. Okay, and then as we travel down, we can get onto the top of the hip. Find that point of the hip, it's in that iliac crest. Work right around that. You can get through the hip flexors. The quads can be a bit of a sensitive area, so sometimes it feels like you're being tickled a little bit. So if that's the case and they're tensing up, that's a bit counterproductive. So what you can do is just let that be for now and work elsewhere, because of course this is meant to alleviate tension, not create it. Lastly, a common area for tension here is along this anterior tibialis through the front of the shin. So watch the shin bone and then travel around that. People think of the calf oftentimes, but they don't think of this muscle group here, which is often very tight and tense, and so it's very helpful using this device there. Okay, that's a quick tutorial for how to run through a full body with a partner when using the HyperVolt. Thanks for joining us. Stay loose, stay safe, and until next time, so long.